Helps to have the sound on here, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. Another technical glitch. Whatever. Use your ear. But what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having an outstanding weekend, outstanding Sunday here. It was another work day for me, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Money don't make itself, right? And I tell you, because I had a rather long work day. You guys ever have those days where you just want to finish up your work day, do your thing, come home, have dinner with the family, chill out, you know, maybe get a few things done around the house, catch up on some mindless TV, or do like Eddie Murphy did, do like I do every now and again. Sit down, have a Coke and a smile, and STFU. Yeah, I do love me some Coca Cola. Cherry Coke, not a sponsor. But anyway, so as I'm sitting down, just trying to kind of hang out, do my own thing, get a few things done for the as the weekend concludes, going into Monday, even though my workday started early. I came across a story, and it was a story that I had to talk about because I can't believe this woman is that stupid. Well, actually, yeah, I can, based on her history. And we're going to get into this here. But before I do get into this, please make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that other good stuff across all our platforms here. Obviously, we're doing Facebook Live right now, but I will be putting this up on YouTube. So make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get all the latest videos, the podcast on Spreaker.com, and every other thing that we got there, MeWe, Minds, Parlor, everything else. So make sure you guys do that. So let's get into this story here. It's a damn good story. AOC, my love, my political girlfriend, as it were. And I'm gonna get this story a little bit bigger here because with her reputation, it's worthy of it. So you guys are very familiar with what happened down in Kenosha, especially if you live here in the Wisconsin area. You guys know all about Kyle Rittenhouse, the young man, 17 years old, from Antioch, Illinois. Who's roughly about 20 minutes away from the Kenosha riot scene where all that madness happened. He ended up shooting 3 people, ended up killing 2 of them. One of them blew his bicep clear off. He's right now in a Wisconsin jail awaiting trial, and he was just recently released over the weekend on bail or on bond. Bond, bail, tomato for the most part. And bail was set at $2 million. Now, Linwood, his attorney, and his representative, I believe, last name Pierce, they crowdsourced to get a lot of funding. Rick Schroeder, the actor, donated a good chunk of change to help Kyle Rittenhouse get out of jail while he's pending trial. And bail is a constitutional right. So there shouldn't be any issue with that, especially given in light of all the people that were rioting over this past year, and they were just being let out of jail ROR on their own recognizance. And sometimes any bail that was set up for them was so incredibly small, it could have been a signature bond, something just ridiculous. But AOC's just got to take it a step further, because when you look at this story here, she's claiming that Rittenhouse being released on bond is an example of law and disorder. Now, what exactly is she trying to say? Law and disorder. Well, let's get into that right away, because AOC, she's got to get to Twitter, right? By the way, you ever notice how Donald Trump can get criticized for all of his tweets and everything else? But AOC, go ahead, do your thing. That's the queen of Twitter, right? I suppose she is the queen of Twitter, since for the most part, like I've said before, Twitter is essentially the cesspool of the internet. So AOC goes online and she tells people, she goes, does anyone believe that Kyle Rittenhouse would be released if he were Muslim, and did the same thing in a different context? Now, I got to stop right there. The same thing in a different context. Well, then we wouldn't be talking about the same thing now, would we? It would be a completely different situation. The context is completely different. And she's playing this game about what ifs and hypothetical scenarios that do not exist. And I hate it when people do that, because it shows their ignorance. It shows how incredibly stupid they are. Now, like I said, when it comes to AOC, we shouldn't be surprised about the stupid things that she says on an almost daily basis. I mean, this is the woman that said that It's physically impossible to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I get it, sweetheart. It's a metaphor. Well, anyway, she continues. For people who say systemic racism doesn't exist, this is what it looks like. Protection of white supremacy baked deep into our carceral systems. Those are our prison systems. And I love it how she got that 50-cent word out there. I think she watched the latest episode of Magic School Bus, picked up a word and threw it up on Twitter. Law and disorder. Notice how she's kind of framing her tweets the same way that President Trump does. Law and order, law and disorder. Then she goes on to say that people who argue that dramatic changes to policing, including budgetary ones, will mean violent people will be let out of jail to roam free, rarely ever acknowledge that that's actually the current system we have today for the privileged. Well, my dear, I really hope you could explain, I don't know, all those people that were rioting over the summer, and all those people that were let out on bond, all those people that got to go ahead, roam free, act like a bunch of damn idiots. If you could do that, I would greatly appreciate that. Because I believe the vast majority of them were people of color, especially up in Minnesota. And then, of course, out on the West Coast, you had your white liberal Antifa suburban crowd. Isn't that kind of what you're talking about there? Now, I get it. I understand. She's not completely wrong in the sense that money does give you better access in the legal system that we currently have. This is true. If I'm rich and you post, the judge says $2 million bond, well, hell, let me just go to the ATM. I'll write you a check. How about that? Why don't you put it on my black card? Well, I don't know. Can I say black card, or is that going to be taken out of context and being racist? I don't know. Don't know. AOC. But of course, she continues. And we read that thing there. That's the current system we have here. Here's the thing I don't get. Now, for years, I've studied the criminal justice system. As a matter of fact, at one point, I actually wanted to get into law enforcement. I opted not to because I just didn't want to get shot. That's really what it boiled down to. And plus, my interest changed. But here's the thing. For millennia, for you millennials, that means thousands of years, plural. Humanity has struggled with what to do as far as policing is concerned, what to do as far as prison is concerned, what is the purpose of jail. And you've had people throughout the years try to figure it out. You've had everything from, all crimes to be done, just execution. That's it. The most draconian of policies. Steal some bread, you're going to die. Kill somebody, you're going to die. Say something bad about grand dear leader, you're going to die. Clearly that didn't work. Then we changed things to make it, a medical issue. If you go into the 1800s, it actually got ridiculous. Like they did this thing called phrenology. Phrenology was kind of really funky because they actually felt around your skull and they were feeling for bumps around your head. And they would look at your forehead. And like, if you had this like forehead, they called you an atavist. You were an evolutionary throwback. So therefore you did not know or couldn't know any better as far as criminal behavior. And you just had a propensity for criminal behavior. And then of course you had all the, is this punishment? Is it retribution? Is it rehabilitative? Is it restorative? There are so many different things. And what I've noticed with the BLM, Antifa, AOCs of the world, whenever they start decrying about defund the police, criminal justice reform, and everything along those lines, what are your proposed solutions? Because if humanity has not been able to change or find out the solution in the last 5, 6, 7,000 years, what makes you think that it's going to happen in the course of a week's time, a month, a year? You're not even throwing out ideas here. But let's go back to Kyle Rittenhouse, though. And I find it once again interesting that individuals on the left, they're especially Congress people, they're the first to tell you, don't comment about my district. You don't know anything about it, but they're going to go ahead and run their mouths off about somebody else's district in some other place, some other land far, far away. They will do that. Again, not having any true understanding, not having any context to the situation. But she's a loudmouth. She'll run her mouth off constantly because she knows she can get people riled up. And that's dangerous. Now, I understand everybody's entitled to their opinion. Hell, I'm giving my opinion right here. But the fact is, I live in Wisconsin. I paid attention to this story constantly. You know. And the way in like AOC like to frame this situation with Kyle Rittenhouse is it's almost like if he shouldn't get bail at all. That he was arrested, he should be just assumed guilty, and that's that. End of story. It doesn't work like that, at least not yet. Because of the AOCs, Ilhan Omars of the world end up coalescing and getting more power, I guarantee you that is how it's going to work. Because that's how the left want to do things. It's mob justice at its worst. It's getting tried by the court of public opinion and all done without the protections of the Constitution. You know, that whole, innocent until proven guilty, tried by a jury of your peers, that type of thing. Being able to face your accuser, little nuances like that. So, real quick in the chat room, we got Hilario in here. What's going on? She is dangerous. She's hella dangerous. And that's kind of the thing that really scares me. It's the very fact that there's a whole district of people that voted for this woman, not once, but twice. And it's the people in the second category that scare me the most, because they know who this woman is. They know what she's about, and they know the damage that she's caused their community. And yet they still continue to vote for her. Wow. Again, that's like the chicken wanting Colonel Sanders to run the hen house. Like they're scared of like the dude from Popeyes, but no, they're down for Colonel Sanders, aren't they? I guess it just really depends on when they call the herd, whose spices do you want to be rolling in? I don't know. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to keep it short here because I actually want to get some reading done. I'm still working on Dr. Jake Jacobs' book, Mob Rule. So far, excellent read. He's got a good breakdown of Antifa, BLM, and the history of Marxism. So I would highly recommend you guys check that out. So Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Caramel Conservative Podcast. We're actually going to be back here. Let's make sure I got that back up. Where is it? I think that's it. There it is. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Caramel Conservative Podcast. Please make sure you guys come over and check it out. It'll be a live show. All you got to do is go to that link right down there, Spreaker.com. Sign up, totally free. Get yourself an account. Join in the chat room. Be a part of that live conversation. And so I will see you guys then. So make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Watch your six. Stay frosty. All them other catchphrases, and just go out there and become the best damn version of yourselves you can be. Good night. God bless you. I'm going to go have me a coconut smile, and I'm going to STF you. I'm out.